This is John Paval with Access Arts Live and a special edition here because we wanted to tell you all about a couple of really interesting music festivals. One of them, the Lakes Area Music Festival in Brainerd, Minnesota, and the other one, the Pyeongchang Music Festival in South Korea. They're both going on this week, and we think both of them are worth your time and attention and wanted you to know about them. This is in addition to everything we told you about in the Monday Roundup. And I'm sorry, I don't have like a staff of workers or a super computer program to redo the whole calendar that we published for you on Monday. So we will give you the links, the times, the dates, the links to all of these live streams. They're all free of charge. They're all on YouTube. You can come in, say hello to Access Arts Live in the comment section, because we'll be there for some of them, depending on the time of day, because, well, it's Minnesota and Korea, and we're here in Europe. So we're kind of in between. But wherever you are, I think these if you're interested in these performing arts live streams, you're going to be interested in these live streams. And we're finding out week by week, day by day sometimes. We found out about both of these within the last 24 hours. So I decided we sent out a couple of written notices, but I said, no, we got to, this could have been a Monday Roundup in and of itself. So let's get right to them. First, let me tell you about the Lakes Area Music Festival. It's in Brainerd, Minnesota. It's like all of these festivals in the summer seem to be followed the same pattern. They bring in top international artists, experts in the field of chamber music or conductors or what have you. And then they also bring in students, but they're advanced students. I mean, these are students who have already gone through schools, like they've gone through Yale or Juilliard or something like that. And now they're doing sort of like postgraduate or graduate music studies with some of the top people here. So, and the Korean festival we're going to tell you about, the Pyeongchang festival, is similar. So, and so let me tell you about this first one, Lakes Area Music Festival. Look, this is a little improvised here. I'm just throwing this together. I'm just spitballing it on a Wednesday night, in Europe. Okay, the Lakes Area Music Festival. They live stream both on YouTube and on Facebook. We'll give you the link to it. They don't provide us individual links to individual concerts, so we can't give you that for this. All we can do is, give you the link to their YouTube page and their Facebook page in the case of the Lakes Area Music Festival. They have 3 concerts for you this week. The first one is called Storm, Shipwrecks, and Sorcery. It's on Wednesday. It's today. That's why we had to get this out at 7:30 in the evening, Central Daylight Time. Minnesota is not on Eastern Daylight Time. And that will be 5:30 in the evening on the West Coast, 2:30 in the morning here in Europe, but a lovely 10:30 Thursday morning, Australian Eastern summertime. So, and it's free of charge on YouTube. So they'll be doing a number of pieces which are all about music from the 17th and 18th centuries, which either portrayed actual storms or stormy feelings. So they'll be doing Schmelzer's Defektschule, the fencing school. They'll do some Handel, the Armide Abbandonata. They'll do some Purcell from the Fairy Queen. They'll do Clérambault's Médée. Now, for those two, they have a soprano, Nola Richardson, coming in to portray the two sorceresses, the Armida from Handel's Armida Abbandonata and Médée from Medea, from Clérambault's Medea. And they'll also do some of Vivaldi concerto, Tempesta dei Mari, the Tempest of the Sea, Buonamente Sonata for 3 violins. You get the idea. It's, how did they incarnate in music in the 17th and 18th centuries, great storms and great personal internal storms. And the music is played by a Baroque ensemble. That'll be 3 violinists, a viola, cello, string bass, harpsichord, and something called the theorbo, which is a large plucked instrument like a lute or a guitar, according to what they tell me. Okay, that's today, July 31st. Their next one is A Night at the Opera on Friday, August 2nd, in the same time slot, 7:30 Central Daylight Time, 5:30 on the West Coast, 2:30 in the morning in Europe, but 10:30 in the morning on Saturday morning in Australia. And this is a concert of various opera arias described as opera's greatest moments, all in one concert. You know how they do this kind of thing, performed by what they call their resident artist. And their resident artist are this kind of young artists who are in the early stages of their career. They're past their formal schooling and they're just stepping into it. It's interesting that the conductor is Stefano Flavoni, who's been an assistant conductor at the Staatsoper Hamburg and at the Philharmonic Staats Orchestra in Hamburg and with the Bayerische Staatsoper. So he's got some experience. Their third and last of the concerts we want to tell you about this week is on Sunday, August 4th at 3 o'clock Central Daylight Time, which will be 1 in the afternoon on the West Coast, 10 o'clock at night in Europe, and 6 in the morning in Australia. So it's viewable all over the U.S. and Europe, I would say. This is a family-friendly concert of kind of cinematic music and things. It includes there'll be a narrator, and it's called Thrills and Superheroes. I think maybe I mentioned that already. If I didn't, I'm mentioning it now. They'll do Russell Peck's The Thrill of the Orchestra, John Williams' The Superman March, and Michael Giacchino's In Credits from The Incredibles. So the conductor there is interesting. Again, it's Christian Reif. He's a German conductor. He spent 3 years as a resident conductor at the San Francisco Symphony. Back already, the bios I've been able to find for him, his official bios, they date from 2019 and 20, and already then he was starting to play all over the place, with up in Scotland and in Norway and Sweden, Romania, down in Lyon, and then with the San Francisco Symphony, at the Lincoln Center and the Mostly Mozart Festival. He studied at Juilliard with Alan Gilbert, who's the music director at the Elbe Philharmonic, which does a lot of live streaming. And Alan Gilbert was at the Stockholm Royal Symphony Orchestra for a number of years, and he was terrific. He managed to take that Stockholm Symphony, which in Sweden they have something called lagom, which means don't do anything too much or too little. And there are certain orchestral pieces that doesn't work with. And one of them is Shostakovich's Fifth, which is too much and too much of everything. I saw Alan Gilbert, just drag that orchestra into playing a really decent Shostakovich's Fifth. So, okay, anyway, so now we move on. Let's move on to this Korean festival. It's mounted by an organization called Music in Pyeongchang, South Korea, and it's the name of the music festival itself is almost unpronounceable for me. I'm only going to try once. It's the Daegwanryeong Music Festival, but I'm just going to talk about Pyeongchang because I know how to pronounce that, I think. All right, the first one is Thursday, August 1st. It's called Homage to Ludwig. It's homage to Ludwig von Beethoven, and it's a piano jazz soloist who's playing this concert named Paul Ray. I looked him up, and I wasn't certain I could find anything about Paul Ray, so I can't tell you anything more about it. Take your chances, but it's an interesting program. Let me give you the time first: 4 o'clock Korean time, which is 5 o'clock in Australia, 9 in the morning in Europe, 3 o'clock in the morning or midnight on the East or West Coast. He'll be doing things like playing Beethoven's 7 bagatelles in E flat major, or a piano sonata, and he's also going to play for Elise, which but also in between, then he'll be playing sort of jazz variations on that, and variations on melodies from a couple of movements in the 7th and the 9th symphonies. So it could be interesting to see how you can play around with jazz and and classical that way. If I'm moving around, I live stream on 4 platforms using one service, and then I use my phone to live stream on Instagram. So depending on which one you're watching, sometimes I move differently to make sure that I'm looking good in both of them. All right. So that's Thursday, August 1st. Then a Thursday in the evening, 8 o'clock Korean time, which is 9 o'clock Australian time, 1 in the afternoon in Europe, 7 in the morning on the East Coast, and an unwatchable 4 in the morning on the West Coast. The Pyeongchang Dream Team, and by that Dream Team, what they mean is the top artists that they have available, including the visiting artist, and they'll be playing a series of pieces, very classical. This is chamber music, basically. They'll be playing Joseph Myslibecek's Woodwind Octet No. 1 in E flat major. I may have that name wrong because it's been translated back out of the Korean. Thierry Escaich, the contemporary French composer, his Magic Circus, and Schubert's Octet in F major. Then Friday on August 2nd at 8 o'clock Korean time, 9 o'clock Australian time, 1 o'clock in Europe, 7 in the morning on the East Coast, and 4 in the morning on the West Coast. The Casals Quartet is playing Bach, Mozart, and Shostakovich. The Casals Quartet, they go back to the 90s. They're one of these great quartets that out in the 1990s have been going strong ever since. They've played at Carnegie Hall and at the Cité de la Musique in Paris, and the Musikverein in Vienna, Concertgebouw in Amsterdam. To celebrate their 25th anniversary, they put out a recording of the entire art of the fugue by Bach, and they're now working on recording all of the 15 quartets of Dmitri Shostakovich. It's going to come out this fall. I mean, and the list of their albums with Harmonia Mundi is as long as there are. So this is, I was watching one of their live streams the other day, the first one that I found, and chatting with a representative of this festival, and he was telling me they hoped to establish a reputation for the festival as, right up there with some of these other summer festivals, which they organize it the same way. They'll bring in top people like the Casals Quartet, and then they teach, younger, aspiring, young musicians on the way up who have finished their formal training, but now they're getting their, the mentorship and all of that. And he hoped it would get established as being up there with the others. And well, when you start bringing in the Casals Quartet, I mean, it's not like some other festival is going to be bringing in a better quartet than the Casals. Just as good, but you don't get better than the Casals Quartet. So, and okay, so then we finish off finally the last of these, Saturday, August 3rd, 8 o'clock Korean time, 9 o'clock Australian time, 1 o'clock in Europe, 7 in the morning on the East Coast if you want to get up early and hear some Beethoven. This is the Pyeongchang Festival Orchestra, so they bring everybody in on stage. They call it the Emperor and the Hero concert because it's 2 Beethoven pieces. The Piano Concerto No. 5, which is the Emperor Concerto, and then they'll do Beethoven's Symphony No. 3, which is the Heroic Symphony. And on the Piano Concerto, they've got Enrico Pace, who he's been here in Stockholm with the Stockholm Royal Symphony, working with Leonidas Kavakos, and he's been a soloist with all the major orchestras ever since. He rose to glory way back in 1989 when he won the Franz Liszt competition in Utrecht. And after that, it's just been glory, glory, glory. Now I'm not going to tell you much more about him or the others. The great thing about this Korean thing is, okay, if you tune into their live stream on YouTube, okay, what you need to do is everything's in Korean. I mean, even in the comment section. But if you go up in that upper right-hand corner, if you're watching it on Google, this works, okay? There's these 3 dots in the upper hand corner of your screen, of your browser. You click on those, and then you can scroll down. If you have to scroll all the way down, you can find translate. It'll translate the whole page, and then all the comment section comes out in English for you. And so we'll be there for some of these. But the thing I wanted to tell you is at the Korean one, in the comments section, they've got a great guy who's giving, he was giving chapter and verse on who Enrico Pace was, and just providing a lot of juicy information. And I thought, well, should I take notes and tell you? But no, I mean, if you tune in to that live stream, you're going to get it in the comment section. All you have to do is just get it translated into English for you. And you don't always find that in the comment section for the live stream. So super comments with background about the musicians and the pieces being played. Very sophisticated. I mean, for people that are trying to establish a reputation for themselves, the comment section of their live streams is very well done. On the other hand, their communications program, their marketing style, I mean, I tell you, it was like pulling teeth, putting even together what the information we had for you there. Okay, I'm going to wrap up this live stream and remind you, as usual, we would love it if you would go on Facebook especially and follow our Access Arts Live page there. Why? Because Facebook established some new rules about how many followers we needed to live stream there and cut off our live streaming, and we'd like to get it back. Otherwise, we are live streaming this, wherever you may be watching it, we live stream simultaneously on YouTube, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on X, and on Twitch, and then on TikTok and Threads. We load up a replay of the live stream because we're not equipped to be live streaming on those two yet, together with the setup that we've had. Thanks for watching. This is exploding. And we know there's an enormous global audience that loves the performing arts, and it's all chopped up into little groups of people watching in a few hundred or a few thousand at a time. When only a few hundred or thousand people watch a concert, an opera, a theater piece, or a ballet, you know how many people are watching, statistically speaking, out of the almost 10 billion in the world? Nobody. And yet you have sports and news generating tens and hundreds of millions of viewers sometimes. The other day at the opening ceremony for the Olympics, there was that one passage, maybe some of you saw it, where you had a pianist on a bridge in the rain playing jeu d'eau. I mean, that was like fantastic, and hundreds of millions of people saw him. Okay, do we have to mount an Olympics to get even a fraction of those hundreds of millions to pay attention? I don't think so. We just have to keep at it, and those of you who love the performing arts, follow us, repost these things to other people that you know who love the performing arts. The more of us watch, the more there's going to be online, and the more there is online, with more people watching, the more that becomes financially sustainable, and it will take wings. And it can, create these huge global moments where huge numbers of people are vibrating to, something like jeu d'eau, and the truth and the beauty of it being shared by huge numbers of people. That can only be good for all mankind. Okay, so thanks again. We'll be back on Friday at our usual time, 6 in the evening in Europe, noon on the East Coast, and 9 in the morning on the West Coast. Ciao for now. Enjoy these live streams and say hello in the comment section. Access our live, look for Access Arts Live. You'll see us there for some of these.